gang? Back to another video. This is What If Deku Was Escanor's Son, Part 2. So, I know this video is coming out late. I had to catch up on My Hero because I totally forgot about this series. Like, I tried making a video yesterday, but I just forgot everything about the series. So I went back, watched about 2 seasons of it, and now I'm back. So I'm going to explain a few things before we get straight into the episode. So this stance that Escanor is in is going to be like a stance for Deku. And every time you see Deku in the stance, you know not to fuck with him. So you see Escanor's eyes that they're really bright orange, like a flame. Well, sorry guys, fucking you can't speak. When Deku has those glowing eyes, you would know that he's getting really serious. And when you see Deku with the giant blade, Blade Rita, on his fingertip, you would know that he's actually about to kill you. So once you see him in this one stance, you would know he's full power. Like, nothing can absolutely destroy him. Like, he's invincible to everyone. And people were asking about Deku's mom. Well, after he disappeared just randomly, she was so depressed and shit that she ended up killing herself. So she died from depression. So that's what happened with his mom, and about the stance is like his final move, his final thing. So I'm just gonna get straight of where we left off. So let's get into it. So when Deku threw the ball, it was only like 3 seconds. So after 3 seconds of the ball being in the air, it just vanished. It disappeared. And when Aizawa checked his meter, it showed 3 mystery marks. It just had 1, 2, 3, and he was like, what the hell just happened? And everyone was just like freaking out, like, what the hell? The ball just ended up disappearing. Because it was only like 200 meters into the air, and it just disappeared. And he was like, whatever, this thing must be broken. And Mr. Aizawa was like, you get first place. So everyone else goes, he gets a new, like, reader or scouter or whatever. Gravity bitch gets infinite. Everyone else gets their few hundred meters and all that. And the running test, Deku gets second place. Doesn't get first. Engine bitch gets first place. He does all the others. Like, he gets first place for everything else. He gets first place in the strength, the long jump, the everything besides the running, because he couldn't beat the score that Engine bitch had. So he ends up getting first place anyway. Then it was Momo, Todoroki, and whoever else. And the person that gets expelled is no one. And Mr. Aizawa was like, it was just a test. And everyone was so relieved and all happy. But Deku notices that, sorry guys, what's his name? Pervy Sage over here, ball bitch, that he got the worst score. So he was like, if he's not gonna be the pro hero, I want to give him something. So he notices that he has something in his bag that he totally forgot about. And if you ever watch Seven Deadly Sins, Merlin gives the pig in the series an eye to wear on his ear, and it shows everyone's power level. So he told Merlin to tweak it so it would show everyone's like level compared to a pro hero. So if Ball guy was to wear it, and he looked at like a student at UA, it would compare that student to an actual pro hero. So he goes over to Ball Guy. Oh, that's his name, Mineta. He goes over to Mineta, gives him the thing, and like, if you wear this, you will know everyone's power level. It won't let you see through girls' skirts, so it'll just let you see everyone's power and how strong they are. And Mineta was super stoked. He was like, wow, this is amazing. He puts it on, and when he puts it on and looks at Deku, it compares him with All Might. He's like, yo, this thing must be broken. It's saying that you are equal or even stronger than All Might. And Deku was like, yeah, it must be broken. So he was toying with it, and he looked at Todoroki, and it showed that he was like compared to the fifth strongest pro hero. Actually, no. No, I don't think he's that strong at the moment with just his ice. He'll be as strong as the 32nd strongest hero in the entire world. The 32nd. So he'll be looking at other people's power levels, and he'll see everyone's ranking and all this, and he looks at a mirror and tries it on himself, and he gets no one. No one's paired with him, and he goes over, runs to Deku and says, "What if it doesn't pair with anyone? Pair with anyone?" And Deku's like, "Oh, that means you're weak. That means you're just a regular person. Like a kid could beat you." And he's just broken. He's like, "Wow, really?" And he's so sad that he's like that weak. Um. So then, a few days go by. Deku, everyone's training, and then All Might comes into the classroom one day and is like, "I am here, All Might," and everyone's like, "Wow, it's actually All Might, all this." And All Might looks at Deku and is like, "That's the kid that saved that one kid, Bakugo." And he's saying that in his mind, and he's like, "I'm here to train everyone." And they're so happy that they're doing like actual training and all this. And once they go out, that's what I forgot. That's what I forgot last episode. Oh fuck. Fuck it. So, I was gonna say, Deku didn't make his hero suit, but I'm just gonna say he did, but didn't tell anyone, and he had his own hero suit, and he just signed the paper and sent it off and to the school, and they allowed him to use his own hero suit. So his own hero suit is just a long fire cape. Like this cape is really short, but when he uses his power, it turns into a long fire cape. He has his axe reed on his back. He has one tiny little plate of armor like on him. It's not that big or anything, and that's basically his suit. So everyone puts on their hero suits and all this, and All Might explains. He's like, "Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna put in teams of 2, and there's gonna be villains, and there's gonna be heroes. So the villains will have a bomb to protect, and the heroes have to go and get it. And all you need to do to win is just touch the bomb." And he announced everyone, like, team. He's like, "Okay, Gravity Bitch with fucking, Deku, fucking Kachan, and Ida. I think that's his name, Ida. Yeah, Ida. And, he's like, okay, well, you're gonna go in this building at a certain location, then we'll start the actual exam." And Gravity Bitch and Deku were like, okay, whatever. And Bakugo is like trying to see how powerful Deku is, because he never met Deku as a kid. Like, he never met him, never had a single contact with him until now. So he wants to see how strong Deku is. So he runs straight after Deku as soon as the exam starts. And Deku, he just uses his a fireball. You see this fireball? He uses it to travel. So he's just traveling through the hallways, and this ball is like super fast. I'm gonna say it's as fast as the speed of sound. And he uses it, locates where the bomb is, just teleports. Not teleports. It looked like he teleports, but he just goes right there, touch the bomb, and it's over. And everyone else has their own exam. And Bakugo never got to see how powerful he is. He's super pissed. He's like, next time, uh, Deku, I will see how powerful you are. And if you hear a little noise, it's my brother coming in from a shower, so I'm sorry about that. So, um, everyone does their own battle. It's the same as canon, like whoever else wins and all that gay shit. And a few days go by, everyone's doing regular shit, and All Might comes in. No, not All Might, but I keep saying All Might. Aizawa is like, okay, we're going to this facility called the SSJ, and we're gonna do like rescue missions there, or practice rescue missions. So they go there and they're preparing all this. And what's that one girl? Or not yet? Pretty sure it's a girl. Black hole girl comes in and was like, okay, fuck me in the pussy. She doesn't say that. Oh my god. She says, okay, everyone, we're gonna practice saving people on these different environments. And Mr. Aizawa comes over to Black Hole Girl and is like, All Might isn't here yet. And Mr. Aizawa was like, maybe he's just out of steam. And Black Hole Girl's like, yeah, probably, whatever. He'll be here soon. So she's explaining everything, and until they see a giant portal open in the middle of the facility, and they see a bunch of villains coming out. They see the Nomu, and wait, they don't see the Nomu. They see fucking Decay bitch, and then the portal guy comes up behind and separates everyone, and Deku is put in the same place with Mineta and the frog bitch, and then he just takes them on his like sun and rides it out of there, and they everyone starts meeting up like in a safe location, and they tell Ida to go tell All Might, and he goes out, tells All Might, or is going to tell All Might, and fucking Deku asks Mr. Aizawa if he needs any help. Mr. Aizawa was like, yeah, sure, help me out. So then Deku decides to just easily take care of these kids. He just like, he slaps them, basically. He just takes his hand and slaps everyone, and they're all knocked out and shit. And the K guy is like, no one told us there was going to be another pro hero here, because the K bitch doesn't know that Deku's a student, not a pro hero. So he's like, okay, let's send out Nomu. So they send out the Nomu, and I'm saying gravity bitch. The K bitch is like, you see that pro hero? Kill him. And they're pointing at Deku. So the Nomu comes, punches Deku straight in the chest. Like, not in the stomach, in the chest. Deku was like, that's a bad idea. And then he takes his fist, and it's like glowing hot red with fire, and he punches Nomu straight into the air, and he teleports right above Nomu, and he axes Nomu in the back and sends him down. He hacks him in half, and the Nomu is regenerating really, really slowly. And Deku is like, time to burn, you monster. And he sends out a flame. But this flame is different. It's not like orange and all that. It's like actually red, the color red, like a dark red. And he sends it out, and it just keeps burning the Nomu, and the Nomu can't regenerate, and it just dies from burns. And even once he died, the flame never went out. The only person that could make the flame go out is Deku. So he goes over, picks the flame up with his hand, and puts it into his chest, and it just disappears. So the Nomu's dead, and Decay bitch is super worried. He's like, oh shit, we have to go. And tell the fucking Portal Man and Decay bitch start retreating. All Might gets there, asks what's happening. It takes out a few villains, and he fucking Deku makes sure Aizawa's alright and everything, make sure everyone's safe. And All Might was like, how do you get rid of the Nomu? How do you kill it? And Deku was like, oh, I just burned it. And he was like, just burned it? And he's like, oh, whatever, it might have not been resistant to fire. So when they're examining the Nomu, they figure out that they try to burn it, like they take fire and put it up to his flesh, and it doesn't work. The flesh is regenerated. It's like, what type of fire did this kid use on this Nomu? They're wondering that, but they can never find it out. And so they have a few weeks off, and Deku is just chilling in the woods, training. He's trying to melt stronger objects. You figure out the rocks and shit on this planet are way weaker, but he's trying different materials like fucking metal, titanium, all that other shit. And he figures out that they have a really low melting point. So he's like, whatever. But he keeps training with it because it's still better than doing nothing. So he keeps training. But this time he starts training with his axe Rita. So he's training with his axe Rita, and he was like trying to balance it on his finger, trying to like do something. And once it got at the perfect point, he just started to flame up. Like his power was overwhelming him. He was wondering what's going on. And then he dropped the axe and was like, what the hell just happened? And at that moment when his axe was on the tip of his finger, his power went to max power. It went like total max. And he looks around him, and where he was standing is now like 15 feet down. Like where his feet are, the bottom of where he was standing up melted down 15 feet, and he didn't realize it. And he had to climb out. He was like, okay, that was weird as hell. I just melted the ground without even trying. And he's like, maybe I should start practicing with this new found ability or stance. Because in the stance, he comes full power. He becomes the one, but like not controlled. So he's trying to figure out how to control this power. So he trains with it for about 1 week, and he's starting to get the hang of it. Every time he goes in it, he learns not to burn the ground under him, and he's starting to use some abilities. But the only thing is, when he's in this stance, he's kind of vulnerable, because anyone could just like kick his arm or kick the axe or any of that. So actually, if they kick the axe, they probably would break the leg. So just kick his arm. So they're trying to do that. He was thinking they might try to do that. So he's thinking of a way to like stop that from happening. So he manages to like ball up his fist and hold his axe in a certain position where he could still swing the axe with his hand, but he's still be in the form, like this form he's in the picture. And he's also realized that his firepower is way more stronger and way more bigger. So he's been practicing to make bigger, cruel suns, and he's gotten really good at it lately. So he's improved a lot lately, and when he goes back to school, everyone's like, wow, are you okay? And all this other shit, because they didn't get to talk to him because he was being um, asked questions by the police and all this other shit. So he's like, yeah, I'm okay. And then a few weeks go by, they just do random shit. They are just, what do you call it? They're just doing regular school shit. They're just learning about heroes, about certain villains. They're doing regular schoolwork and all this other shit. They do a few training regiments. And then Mr. Azawa comes up to the class and says, okay, class, in about 1 week, we will have the sports festival. And in this festival, you will be looked upon by certain hero agencies to see who wants to take you, so you could practice for the future. And it's gonna be like 3 exams. One's gonna be a teamwork, one's gonna be a race, and one's gonna be a one-on-one battle. So I want all y'all to start training for this exam. And in that time, Deku's like, okay, since I'm going against my own classmates, I don't need to train that hard because my classmates aren't that strong. So he starts training, and while he's training, in this certain, it's not wooded area. He went to a new place, so he went to burn down the forest. It's like somewhere where there's a lot of rocks and stuff, a lot of hard materials. So he's training there, and he sees Endeavor. Or he doesn't see Endeavor. Endeavor sees him training with his fire. And Endeavor comes up to him and says, it's a really impressive fire ability. You want to test it against mine? And Deku was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So Deku knows who this is. He's like, aren't you the number 2 hero? And Endeavor was like, yes, I am. So, they start preparing to fight. And, Deku is like, okay, since this is the number 2 hero, I'm gonna try my hardest. So he starts preparing up, getting into, not into this stance, he doesn't want to kill the man. He's just getting into a regular fighting stance with his Axerita in his right hand. And he's preparing to fight. And Endeavor's getting pretty serious and all this. And Deku's like, okay, are you ready, old man? And Endeavor's like, what do you call me? And Deku was like, okay, fight. So then Deku just spawns in a small cruise sun, throws it at him, and Endeavor blocks it with his left hand, but it burns him. He's like, oh, that's some pretty strong fire ability, young kid. And Deku said, wow, thank you. I'll take this. And he throws a bunch of small fireballs and all this, and it's not phasing him that much. But then Deku decides to use his Axerita. He's slicing and dicing and all this random shit. He manages to cut a big slice of Endeavor's chest. Endeavor's like, oh wow, you snot-nosed kid. Can't believe you've done this. And then Endeavor decides to go full power. Like his maximum power. And he's just like, are you ready for this? And he uses his strongest ability. I don't know what Endeavor's strongest ability quite is, but I'm just gonna say it's a giant fireball. And he uses it, and Deku decides to use not the one. It's quite close to noon, but he's not there yet. But he just buffs up really big, and he just takes it. And Endeavor's like, wait, what? How'd you take my strongest move? And then Deku's like, well, it's my turn, isn't it? And he starts writing in midair with his fire some ancient language, and it's a spell. And it's like a big box of fire, and when you use it, you can't get out of it. It traps anything. Demons, angels, fucking animals, humans, fucking ants, bitch. It would trap anything. But when you touch the fire, it won't hurt you. You would just be trapped there forever. So when this happens, Endeavor's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's banging on the fire, trying to get out. And Deku's like, "How about you stay in there for a while?" And he digs a big ass hole, puts Endeavor inside of it, like inside the box, and he starts burying it. And the fire is providing oxygen for him. And if you're wondering how he's gonna get food, every few days Deku would just throw food in there, and the fire would take the food from the top and bring it into the box. So Endeavor would be there for about 3 weeks, and so he would just leave him there, and Endeavor's trying his hardest to get out, but he just can't, so he just gives up and takes the food and all this. But he's like, "Once I get out of here, you're dead, man." And Deku's like, yeah, whatever. So, Deku is training, and there's 2 days left. So he is like, okay, I need to start training hard and fast. So he starts training hard and fast for 2 days, and the day comes that the exam or the thing is happening. So he goes over to the race part. Sorry for that noise. It's my mom. So he prepares for the race. He spawns in his cruel sun, and when the examiner says 3, 2, 1, go, instead of him just teleporting straight to the finish, he decides to take a little slow. He wants to see how everyone else does. So he actually stays there where he is, and he lets everyone else go ahead. And he doesn't move until Todoroki and Bakugo get to the mine part. Then he's like, maybe I should start moving now. So as soon as they get to the mine part, as soon as they're about to exit the mine part, fucking Deku just zooms right past them. But as soon as he gets to the mine part, he kind of slows down a little. He just zooms past everyone else, but he just is keeping a. Sorry for that noise. Hey, can you close the door, bro? Sorry for that noise. He zooms past everyone except Todoroki, and he's keeping the pace. He's like, "Hey, what's up, everyone?" And they're like, "How do you catch up so fast?" And Deku was like, "Oh, I don't know. How are you so slow?" And then he just zooms right past everyone and makes it to the finish. And everyone in the goddamn arena is like, "Why is there a grown man doing this exam?" And the proctor is like, "That's no grown man. That's a student here. He's actually only 15 years old. And Deku something. Because they don't know his last name. He's just a random guy named Deku." So, he's just there. Actually, no. His name would be Deku Sunshine. And he, is one of the most promising kids in the school. That's what the proctor says. And everyone's like, "Wow, we should keep an eye on him." And the fucking Decay guy is watching the exam, is like, "That's the guy that defeated our Nomu. So he's only a kid. And he's a student. Very interesting." So I am actually going to end this episode here and do the cavalry and the, what do you call it? The one-on-one battles in the next part 3. And we'll get further into the series, not just those two things. So if you want me to do anything else with Deku, please comment down and like the video. And I will see y'all in the next episode. Comment down some things you may want me to do after the series is done. I am going to do the series all the way to, hard to say. I'm going to do all the way to the forest camp, into the movie, out of the movie and into like season 3, I think, probably. So I'll see y'all all in the next episode, part 3, and bye bye, my rhythm gang.